So this is the October 29th, 2021, 8:30 monthly meeting of the Truck Community Land Bank's Board of Directors meeting. And we are recording. Great. So we are, hey Sherry.
Hi, good morning.
So let's see, Suzanne's going to chair. So we need her here. And we actually do have, starting out, I think we have 7, maybe even eight members, but I know Andrew, you have to jump off early.
Yeah, I got a 9:30 interview that I got to prepare for, so.
Okay.
I mean, I said 9, I could, go a few minutes if wrap up whatever work might be in the middle of, but not too much after that. I gotta.
Yeah, I just kind of set the agenda up just for, action items. For anyone who wants to continue to talk about stuff, we can do that. I just want to make sure the action items got taken care of. And since Kate's has to jump off for her court thing, wanted to move up the Vesta property stuff to the top of the agenda because she's going to want to kind of walk us through that. Hey, Christy. Hi, Christina. Christina, you're on mute, by the way. So today is fog. In about 2 weeks, it'll be snow, right?
I hope not.
I hope not too.
I heard next weekend we're supposed to get snow possibly.
Oh, stop.
That's just what I heard. Hope not.
I used to hate winter, and then I realized that there's a whole lot less yard work to do when the snow's on the ground.
Once it snows, the grass every weekend, I'm like, why is this grass still growing?
Where's the Agent Orange?
Yeah, right. We still have tomatoes. Crazy. Although we got frost last night, so they might be done.
Yeah, I think we got it too.
Every weekend I go out, I'm like, oh, there's more tomatoes out here. What am I doing? My camera is leaning. It looks leaning. Oh.
Looks like Suzanne's having trouble. One thing I should do, because I think John Cubitt's going to possibly have a problem. Let's see here.
Hello.
Good morning.
Hi. This is Suzanne. I'm on my phone because my computer's not working. I'm at work and there's no sound on this one at work, so that's how it's working. Sorry.
Okay.
But I'm here.
I'm just sending a quick email to John Cubitt. His email's been bouncing back to me sometimes. So. All right, so I just shot an email to John Cubitt. We don't need him for quorum. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have exactly a quorum. I'm sorry, 6. 1, 2, 3. Oh, no, we're down 1.
Yeah, we are.
Hmm.
We had Christina. I don't know where she went.
Yeah. Off to a good start here. My contacts. There it is.
We're missing Brian too.
Ah. I just said that.
It looks like he tried to log on, but he's not showing up either.
Brian?
Yeah, because I got an email that oh, he's on the wrong link. That's why I got an email.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have to send about 20 of these links out every week for all of our trainings that we do online. And we check them like 18 times every time. We live in constant fear of sending the wrong link or people going to the wrong link, and we still mess it up, and we still get people that, because they change, just like this one, like it changes, and then you're like, oh, you send new emails and
Yeah, that's my fault. I apologize. I had to get off at 9:20 for a court appearance, so I couldn't host it. And so it was a mess.
oh yeah, that's what happens with us. We like have trainers that, get reassigned, and then we can't, we use WebEx, but it's, it's all the same kind of process, and you can't change the host. You have to create a new one. And
Yeah.
it's this constant low level anxiety of
Yes.
every day. And WebEx sends, I don't know if that's what you got, but WebEx sends emails that say so-and-so is waiting in the meeting. And you're like, what?
Right. That's what Brian just popped
That's
up.
how
And I'm
you
like,
got- yeah.
yeah, he's on the wrong link. Poor
Yeah.
guy.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Oh boy.
Kate, do you want to start talking about Vista?
I can't without a quorum. We can't even open the meeting. All right, here he is.
Who's that? Oh, great. Okay. And Christina's trying to dial back in.
Okay. Well, at least we have a quorum. 1, 2,
Brian.
3, 4,
Morning.
5, 6.
I tried
All
to
right.
join with my phone. I couldn't get in, so sorry I'm late.
Better late
It's
than
okay.
never.
All right, so quorum being present, I apologize for the late walk-on of contract for sale purchase of the Vesta properties. It came in late to me yesterday, and I quickly reviewed it. And the reason why I wanted to put it on this agenda is to keep from all of you having to have a special meeting to approve it in a week or two. So Tony sent it out yesterday, And it is for, to purchase the Vesta properties direct from Vesta. As you recall, Beacon was gonna, Communities was gonna purchase these properties from us as part of a larger deal that fell through. So we are still acquiring the Vesta properties. Plus, this contract also includes 820 River Street, which A&D discussed. And I think the board was aware that we were looking at purchasing 820 River as well. So I've had a chance to review the purchase and sale agreement, and it was important that we review it and potentially adopt approve the contract today, because we anticipate funding coming in for the property purchase within the next couple weeks. And I wanted to have the ability to move forward to get that moving towards closing, because Vesta needs to close by the end of the year. And of course, so does everyone and their mother needs to close before the end of the year. And it's going to be crazy in a full out sprint. So I wanted to make sure that we got this done. And as you probably also know, I want to make sure we didn't lose a quorum. No, we're good. Okay. As you also know, the legacy grant that we're applying for, Legacy Cities Grant to Enterprise, involves some of these properties as well as others that we're working with the city on a larger plan for. So that being said, if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer those. But you've approved the Vesta property purchase already once, but we're adding 820 to the contract, and we're purchasing it directly from Vesta, and that's why we have a new contract to approve.
And so the total sale for all 5 properties is 463,000,
Correct.
and 393 of that will come from will be coming from another grant source.
How much will be coming from another grant source?
Actually, all 463 should be coming from another grant source.
No. Well, it's part enterprise and potentially another grant source.
Yeah.
We're not sure yet.
Yeah.
I got a question. Who's Vesta?
Have you heard of Father Peter Young?
No.
He for decades he's run some drug addiction programs throughout the capital region. Altamont House, I think, is his best known one. So he's had a smattering of properties in and around North Central, and he's run into, actually he's passed away, but his organization ran into some financial and I think some legal trouble about five or so years ago. So they've been trying to I think reduce their program footprint.
Oh, okay. All right.
And the contract, just so you know, is contingent upon receipt of our funding. So if for some reason, that doesn't go the way we plan, but Enterprise has approved those funds, so I'm not too concerned. It is contingent upon that, and only will we close once we have those funds.
Yeah.
So
That was my next question.
yes. I also am trying to get environmental studies that were done on the properties to take a quick look at those, so I won't close without that either. But this is just to sign the contract and get moving on the due diligence and all of that.
So it does turn out there's some sort of brown site or something we could still back out. There's some
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Beacon Communities has already done some environmental work on this, and we are trying to get a copy of at least the phase 1 from them, so that we can have something to look at. But I think all things being equal, they would have said that there was some issues with that after doing it. So I don't expect to find anything, but as your attorney and for liability purposes, I want to make sure that at least what's on the record as far as environmental studies is concerned satisfies everyone, that we're, getting properties that are in good shape. So,
Are they gonna give up these reports without us paying for them?
That's what
Well,
we're trying to do.
technically,
Okay.
it's foilable because it's a public project. So I'm hoping they will, because even a FOIL request, that we'd have to turn those over. So we'll see.
And I would,
Those
for the,
reports aren't cheap, so.
yeah,
No, I
that's,
understand. And if we
Yeah.
don't get them, Albert, it's a problem because we'd have to do it
Okay.
ourselves and it's going to delay
Yeah,
everything.
yeah,
So
okay.
we're working on it. Yeah.
I think the environmental should be fine because there was another property that Beacon was going to purchase that was not a Vesta property. And they backed away after they got the environmental assessment. So they didn't back away from any of these 5 properties. And they were all done at the same time, more or less.
Yeah, I mean, we're not worried about structural issues because that's the whole point, if
Yeah,
there's
these-
going to be rehabbed, it's just, potential land contamination.
Yeah, the other point on all these buildings are habitable. So for the legacy city program, they may need to be modified and probably would be. But it's good to know we've got, not the bottom of the barrel that we're typically used to getting from the city foreclosure process.
Okay. So I'll just need a motion to approve the purchase and sale agreement for the Vesta properties as, let's see, the list.
We never technically opened the meeting. Should we do that?
We didn't do a roll. That's true, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Why don't you go ahead and do that?
Okay. So since Heather's not here, I will call the meeting to order and I will take roll. Hold on one second. Okay, Heather King, absent. Suzanne Spellin here. Albert Watson,
Here,
Brian Barker,
Here.
Andrew Cooper,
Here,
Jeanette Nicholson,
Here.
John Kubit, absent. John Carmelo, is he here?
John couldn't make the meeting.
Okay, Christina Marble,
I'm here.
Patricia Riley.
Here.
Okay, so
Suzanne,
yes,
I'd just like to note for the record that the realtor Sherry Cavallero is here. Did I pronounce that right, Sherry? I
You
apologize.
did.
Okay.
You did.
And we have another person, Shay, who's the,
Shay Cavallero, Sherry's assistant.
oh, okay, all right. Perfect. Okay, so back to the purchase and sale agreement for the Vesta properties, plus 820 River. I just need a motion to approve the contract.
I'll motion to approve.
I
Brian,
second.
Okay,
Andrew and Suzanne. Suzanne.
Suzanne. Okay, all in favor? I'll take a vote. Albert Watson,
I'm in favor. Aye.
Brian Barker,
Approve.
Andrew Cooper,
aye.
Jeanette Nicholson,
Aye.
Christina,
Aye.
Patricia,
Yes.
and I also approve. So it's unanimous.
It's 7-0.
great, thank you.
Okay. So next on our agenda, oh, come on, is the approval of the 2020 Irs Forum 990.
Yeah. So the, pardon me, this was prepared by Bowers they sent an early draft, I think it was last Friday or earlier this week. Finance looked at it yesterday. Albert wanted to take a closer look at it, so he and I met in my office yesterday and went through it. Albert, stop me if I say something wrong, but Albert was expecting to see differences in the numbers between our 2020 audit and the 2020 990 form. And he seemed pleased that all the numbers seemed to match. I went through the 990 and I asked for some minor changes. They actually had Albert as a member of the board, and at that time, he was not a member. Sharon Nichols was treasurer, and Albert didn't actually come on until I think February of this year. So they made that change, and I asked them to make a couple of changes on the average number of hours board members, invested into the Glen Bank, because some of them just seem kind of inconsistent to me. Some folks doing the same amount of stuff, the hours were not the same. So I think they made those changes. Otherwise, Albert went through it. I went through it again last night. Nothing jumped out at me. So I think it's in pretty good order. The same fellow that's been preparing it for the last 3 years prepared this one.
Are we actually required to need a resolution to approve the 990, or just that it was presented to the board?
No, you have to approve it pursuant
Okay.
to the New York State not-for-profit corporation law.
Okay. No, I motion to approve the 990.
I'll second.
Okay, go through the roll again. So, Albert Watson,
Aye. Okay.
Brian Barker,
Aye.
Andrew Cooper,
Aye.
Jeanette Nicholson,
Aye.
Christina Marable,
Yes.
Patricia Riley,
Aye.
and Suzanne Spellin, aye. So 7 approval, no dissension.
Got it.
Okey-dokey. Next resolution is approving the public authority budget.
Yeah, so this is when finance met yesterday, the way I described this budget is it's not real. It's not a real budget. For most public authorities, it's more important because they have regular revenue coming in and expenses going out. The way our land bank is, our finances are more sputtery than that. So I'm not saying this is not important. It's just not really as important as you would think it would be for something called the 2022 annual budget. This is mostly a ministerial requirement to submit to the authority's budget office. When we have our 2021 audit done, and that's approved by the board at the annual meeting, then this budget gets revised and the 2021 figures become the figures in the audited financials for 2021. And more information will be known about what the budget would look like for 2022, particularly because in March we'll have been into 1/4 of it. And maybe a little bit of a view into the future for 2023, probably not beyond that. So, so the numbers that I have in here are based on discussions we've been having with the city and the Legacy City Access Program. And so, depending on how all that shakes out, these numbers are definitely going to change. It's just a question of how. So that's pretty much an overview of what the budget represents. Not sure if everyone's had a chance to really go through it, but does anyone have any questions?
Tony, this is the Excel annual budget sheet 1029, 2021.
Would you like me to bring it up?
I have it in front of me. I think it's the same one, but it's the 1029, 2021, 2022 annual budget, right? And that's going to be Appendix A.
I've got it labeled 10.29.2021-2022 annual budget.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
I thought I said. Okay.
I just wasn't sure.
Is there any, so as you've said, that this is almost assured not to be a match ultimately with how things turn out. Is there any consequence to that?
Now it's what happens every year.
That's what I assume, but I just, wanted verification that like.
The consequence, there really isn't a consequence to that, to your question directly, Andrew. This is simply, again, it's more ministerial than anything else. It has to be filed by November 1st. And it gets filed, I believe it gets filed, I know it gets filed on Paris, but I believe it gets filed but not certified. And then at the annual meeting, it gets revised, and then it gets certified by both me and by either Albert or Heather, I believe is how it's set up.
And Tony, the $1.6 million subsidy grant, that's what we're waiting on currently?
Yes, and we should know a lot more about that early next month.
And the 533 is enterprise.
That's correct.
Yep. That looks good.
Yeah, looks great.
Now, I think 2022, if things go the way they seem to be going, we're going to have a very, very good year.
So
A lot of
what's
good stuff done.
What's the 1.5 million from?
So the grant that I would like to talk about openly, but I've been asked by the grant source not to.
Okay. All right.
There's likely to be a 2022 funding opportunity and a 2023 funding opportunity. At least that's my belief based on what I've heard. So that 1.5 kind of represents the second rendition of that grant.
Okay. So we
Well,
need to
I'll
make
move to approve.
Okay,
a motion to approve the budget.
Motion.
Or second.
okay.
I'll second.
I shall do the roll. Suzanne Spelling, yes. Albert Watson,
Yes. Yeah.
Brian Barker,
Yes.
Andrew Cooper,
Yep.
Jeanette Nicholson,
Yes.
Christina Mariville,
Yes.
and Patricia Riley.
Yes.
Again, 7-0 in favor.
Okay, thank you guys.
Okay. Our next agenda item is a resolution to accept the Community Loan Fund revolving loan.
Yeah, so this is we're going to receive two loans from the Community Loan Fund. This is for $55,000 and it's a revolving loan. It's not a secured loan. One issue that came up during Finance Committee yesterday, and also that Kate raised a couple days ago, the term of this is only 3 months, which had some folks worried. And so I talked to Dorian Wells, who's been my point of contact at Community Loan Fund, who, by the way, has been absolutely terrific to work with. And I emailed him. He sent me back a very lengthy and clarifying response that I circulated to the board yesterday. I'm not sure if you all had a chance to look at it. But if you did not, so essentially, it is still a 3-month term of the loan. What the community loan fund is kind of wanting to see is how we repay the loan, and their expectation is it will be paid on time. They can extend it if something, unusual but not crazy goes wrong. But once this loan is paid back, then they would immediately allow us to borrow again from the revolving loan, and the term would turn to 12 months. As far as paying back the loan, I really don't think that's going to be a problem for 2 reasons. We are receiving a very healthy disbursement from the enterprise community by the end of this year. And funding from the other grant source, funds should start flowing from that grant source, beginning next month, beginning in November. So I really don't think it's going to be a problem. We're also going to have 54 Fifth Avenue on the market. It's probably not going to sell by the end of the year, but it might. Which, Sherry, by the way, I got to talk to you about that. So that's and so it's a 5%. Let's see, interest rate. Where is it? It's a 6.5% fixed interest rate, and there's a 5% penalty if we pay more than 10 days late. The closing has already been scheduled for Monday, so that will happen on Monday unless the board has an issue with this. They are going to prepare the paperwork for a UCC loan on all of our property, but they're not actually going to file it unless they need to. So in other words, if we default on the loan, then they would file the UCC lien on all of our properties. Of course, the expectation is we will not default, and they will therefore not have to file the lien. Which, by the way, we went after a revolving loan a few years ago, and the bank we were talking to at the time wanted to file the UCC on all our properties immediately. So that was kind of nice that CLF didn't want to do that. They have waived the 1% origination fee, and then then you get into a little bit of their lawyers' language.
Did you mention any closing costs?
There is I forget, I think the fee might be $125.
Oh, okay, all right.
It's next to nothing. And so as I was trying to get to sleep last night, it's like, what was that amount? Because I have to write that check. So let's see here if it shows up.
Tony, it's Pat.
Hey, Pat.
Is 6.5% the normal rate?
Meeting.
Off the top of my head, I don't know. Albert, you might have it.
That's not a bad rate for an unsecured loan. It really isn't.
Okay.
Commercial
Okay,
rate,
thank
too,
you.
right?
Yeah, commercial loan for unsecured loan, that's not a bad rate.
Okay. Thank you.
Sorry, my cursor doesn't have enough space to move. Yeah, okay, I was trying to see what the closing costs were, and I'm not seeing it on here, but I know it is not much at all. So that's what I've got for you. This will greatly help us with our cash flow issues. We tried working with Community Loan Fund 2 or 3 years ago, and it was a very odd experience. This has been the exact opposite. Dorian Wells has been, I can't even express how much help he's given me. He's just been terrific to work with. So I just want to make sure that he's recognized. So any questions?
Tony, there's no particular usage for these funds. It's just overall operating costs that we have until our other funding sources come in, right?
Yeah, I think it, I probably couldn't use this for, say, installing a heating system at 11 Winnie Avenue, because that's not an operating expense. So I think that's the only limiting factor. I think these are all just soft operational costs.
Tony, what's the term on it? The
Three
length?
months.
Just 3 months. Okay.
3 months, and that was the point of concern with Kate and with finance yesterday. When this loan gets paid back, then it would open up again to a 12-month term. So they're basically wanting to see how responsible we are as a borrower. And once we prove that to them by paying this back, then it opens up into a 12-month term.
Yep.
For future disbursements.
That sounds sensible.
One question. Do you plan on taking the full amount when you close?
Pardon me. No, let's see. No, I don't.
Yeah. All right.
Off the top of my head, it was roughly half this month and half next month. Pardon me, losing my voice. And I can find that for you. It's on my screen somewhere. I just would have to find it. Not sure where it's going to be.
What was the question?
Am I borrowing the entire 55 at
Oh.
once? And I'm not. It's something like, 25 and 30 or 30 and 25.
I've just asked because once it's fully advanced, and you got till February to repay the balance, so that's when it matures. So
Yeah, it's a pretty short leash.
yeah, no, that's
Yeah,
that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah, that's what everyone is concerned about. I have it up on my computer here, but to be honest with you, it's an Excel file, and I've got about 15 of them open. So
I just as long as you got a plan to we know where the repayment source is coming from.
I do.
Okay. All right.
I definitely have two sources that I anticipate being able to use. So we should be in okay shape.
Okay.
But it's just not jumping out of me.
So are we ready to have a motion?
Yeah.
Well, if so, I move that we approve the community loan fund revolving loan.
I would like to second.
What was that, Christina?
I was just seconding the motion.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so Suzanne, yes. Albert Watson,
Yes.
Brian Barker,
Yes.
Andrew Cooper,
Yes.
Jeanette Nicholson,
Yes.
Christina Maribel,
Yes.
and Patricia Riley.
Yes.
Again, 7 approvals, no disapprovals, and the motion passes.
Thank you all.
Okie dokie.
I gotta get moving. This is Andrew. Is there any
I
other
think
urgent thing that we need to do before I go?
Those are all the
I
action
think we've
items.
gone through everything, haven't we?
Yeah, we've taken care of all the action items. And I didn't list anything more on the agenda, but that doesn't mean we can't have a conversation about things if anyone has any issues they want to raise.
All right, well, I will catch you all later.
Okay, thanks very much, Andrew. Let me make sure we still have a quorum.
Yeah, I gotta go too.
Oh, okay, well, I guess that takes care of the quorum. 1, 2.
Yeah, I don't, it's not an issue, Tony, but you did mention that Sherry might have some information on 54.
No, what I
Did I make
said,
that up?
Jeanette, was 54 Fifth Avenue should be completed today, so it will
Oh,
be ready.
great.
Yeah, so it should be ready to be marketed very, very soon. Of course, we want Sherry to take a look at it and tell me what needs to be done to have it presentable for market. And then I'm sure Sherry will get it there.
We had a
Yep.
really great meeting with SEAT the other day. Tony and I had a phone call. And that's where George told us they should be done with 54 Fifth today. And that they will be moving on to 791 River, which is fabulous. So we're seeing a lot of progress on a lot of fronts. And Tony and I'll have some more information to report, probably at least by the next meeting, but certainly probably before the A&D and exec meetings before the next meeting too. So.
Great.
Great.
Sounds good.
Okay, well, if there's nothing else, is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second,
Okay, all in favor? Good eye will do it.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, that's it for this month. Thank you.
Adjourned at 9:10. Thank you all.
Thanks. Yep.
Thank you.
Okay,
Have a great
bye-bye.
day.
Take care, everybody.
Have a great day, everybody. Take care.
happy Halloween.
You too.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.